Okay, so the FNAF movie. Now, I cannot wait to start talking about this because I was busy the last, 4 days and haven't actually been able to record this video. And so, honestly, I'm excited to do this. And before I get into it, because I just want to go straight into this right now, I just want to say that there is going to be spoilers in this review. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, because my reviews, I usually like to talk about certain details and stuff I enjoyed, and it's very hard to do that without spoiling stuff, and so I just kind of have no restraint with it and just go with it. And if you guys ever want to watch a review of me playing a game or something, like a review of a game or a movie that I watched related to horror on this channel, if it does not say spoiler-free in the title, that most likely means it's not spoiler-free. But don't worry if you forget, because I will always put a spoiler warning at the start of videos like these, if they are not spoiler-free, so don't worry about that. But anyways, let's get straight into this. So, the FNAF movie was definitely something. And I'm gonna be honest, I know that there's been a lot of mixed opinions about it, and there's been a lot of people that don't like it, a lot of people that do like it, a lot of people that are just kind of like meh, and then the group of people that absolutely despise it, and I get that. And I respect everybody's opinions on that matter, because I have noticed a couple things in the movie. Hopefully I won't forget to bring it up later, but I have noticed a couple things in the movie that might make FNAF fans and non-FNAF fans dislike the movie. And so if that is the case, even if they didn't have those things, obviously I'm not judging people for not liking something, but with that being said though, let's get into this. Alright, so I just want to say right now, I want to just put this out there, I genuinely love the movie. Because I feel like it was honestly worth, the 8-year wait? I'm sorry, I forgot when Scott originally announced plans for the movie. I know it was a long, long time ago, but I kind of forgot, so, rip. But, honestly, I love what they did with the story. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I know that's been a big criticism people have had, not really enjoying the way they did the story here, but I actually kind of liked it. Because there's one thing I feel like people have to understand, and that's, usually with movie adaptations, or whatever, whenever a game has a movie, half the time, I'd actually say 99.9% of the time, they change up a lot of stuff because it wouldn't really work in a movie format. Think about how complicated FNAF lore is, right? If you know anything about it. And now try and piece that together and fit that all into a movie. I think you see where I'm coming from here. It's just it isn't going to work. So them changing the lore a bit and changing how certain things worked, I think actually is for the best. And also, by doing that, it gives the big FNAF fans kind of a new experience, because they're not just gonna see the same thing that happens in, the games happen here in the exact same way, and then it's oh great, so I know a lot about FNAF lore, therefore I know everything that's gonna happen in this movie, and now the movie's gonna be boring. You know what I mean? Because then it's gonna end up being a situation, and I know it's kind of random to bring this up in a FNAF movie review, but it's gonna end up being like the Persona 5 anime. It's gonna end up being like that, where if you played the game, there's pretty much almost no appeal to watching the anime, because it is the exact same story from the game. And I can't really say vice versa for that, because the game is actually really fun, but my main point is, if they did that same exact thing, it would have just been pretty bad, and I think the complaints would actually have been worse. And so, I loved the way they did it. Having new characters go to this pizzeria with all of these new, story things happening. Especially, one detail I loved was that they really debate you so hard, halfway through the movie, I think, where the animatronics are just nice to Abby for some reason. And it's just so confusing. Because I was thinking this when watching the movie, oh great, so if they're apparently nice, how is this gonna all just go down to absolute hell? How is that gonna happen? And so, of course, that gets answered later on, but Honestly, I just love the twists and turns this movie pulled to make things work. One thing I do want to mention, though, because I know it's something a lot of people are talking about, and it wouldn't really be a proper FNAF review video if I didn't discuss this, but yeah, MatPat showing up was insane. That was wild. I still cannot believe it. And then, of course, there's the scenes with Corey as well. Like, it was awesome to see them get some representation in the movie. And then I know they had, like, Dawko and 8-Bit Ryan and, like, Razbowski, I think. I'm pretty sure they had them in, like, the, Employee of the Month thing that showed up in a couple of the shots. But either way, still, it's awesome to see, like, all these people that kind of shaped the community here just, like, show up in the movie. I think that is just massive respect that Scott has for the people that shaped the FNAF community. And hey, I can't blame him. I would do the exact same thing if I was making a movie on some popular franchise I created, and there's a bunch of big YouTubers that, like, shaped the entire community of my said franchise. I would 100% offer to have them in the movie, because that would just be, like, I guess, kind of me, I guess, paying them back in a way. Just like, hey man, you helped my game get big, you helped all of this stuff happen, so, you know what? In return, you want to be in the movie. So I definitely think that's a cool thing. But now I do want to go over something that I did find interesting. Very, very interesting about the movie, okay? Very, very interesting. Around the end, when William Afton gets spring-locked, he is not screaming in agony. Now, I know that it's been, like, memed across the entire FNAF community, all the, like, you know, just, like, the clips of, you know, the fan-made clips of William Afton just screaming in agony as he gets spring-locked. And I know that's been a big thing in the community, obviously. And I'm gonna be honest, this is actually, I think I would consider a criticism. I did find it very, very odd that he was not screaming. It felt kind of anticlimactic, in a way. It was still a hype moment. It was still awesome to see, but, like, even if he was just screaming a little bit, not, like, complete insanity like half of the fan-made clips have on YouTube. I mean, like, at least just a little bit, right? I feel like it would have added so much more to it. Because it is literally one of the most, in my opinion, the most hype part of the entire movie. That is, like, straight up the build-up that if you're a FNAF fan, of course we were all expecting to happen. We just didn't know how it would happen. And it's kind of sad to see that it just kind of, he was just kind of like, and just, like, breathing heavily. Like, bro, if you were getting stabbed by a bunch of spring locks in a suit, I don't think you'd be, like, holding your breath and, like, this hurts. Like, no. You would be screaming out in absolute agony. But nope, they didn't do that for some reason, and I still find that weird. I wonder if we'll ever get an explanation on that. Because it's just a minor little criticism about the movie I have. It's nothing too big. This really does not affect my opinion on the movie that much. I just find it really weird that, like, what essentially, for pretty much every FNAF fan, is meant to be the most hype part of the entire movie was just a little bit too anticlimactic. So I kind of wish that was different. But besides that, I did genuinely enjoy pretty much everything about the movie. I love the way that they wrote the characters and the whole story going on with Mike and Abby, and I think, like, Abby's aunt? I don't remember if it was an aunt or, like, I don't remember, but I know it was, like, this whole thing going on where, like, I think it was the aunt wanted custody of Abby, but Mike was like, nah, I want to take care of Abby, and, like, this whole thing that was going on. And even though that has nothing to do with funny animatronic bear trying to kill you in Night Guard office, it's still just nice to have something else going on besides just having the entire movie centered around the FNAF location. And just kind of having those little sections that take place outside of it that's just stuff going on with the main characters. And it was just a great experience overall. That's all I really have to say. But there is actually one thing I do want to mention here that I find... Now this is a thing, what I'm about to say. It's not directly related to the movie itself, I guess. But, like... I feel like this definitely enhanced my experience so much. So, when I went to see the movie, I saw it on October 26th, because there was an early screening in a theater that wasn't too far away. And so me and 3 of my friends decided to go see it. And, since we were in the theater, I have to say right now, if you are planning on watching the FNAF movie, like, soon, please go to a theater. Because it is such... If you are a FNAF fan, though, I'm gonna be honest, it might be a bit weird if you aren't a FNAF fan, but if you are a FNAF fan, I mean, even though I am spoiling the whole thing here, I would definitely suggest if you want to watch it, like, yourself, please go to a theater, because this is probably not gonna last forever, what I'm about to talk about. I'm assuming at some point that hype is gonna die down, and the theater's never gonna have the same reactions again. It's kind of a limited time experience, I'd call it. But I remember during all of these scenes, like when MatPat showed up, or Corey, or the Springlock scene, or like the first time that Freddy showed up, or like when that group of people were getting killed in the pizzeria. Like, bro, the crowd was just exploding. That entire theater. Basically, you are surrounded in those theaters with pretty much nothing but FNAF fans. And it was great to see. It honestly enhanced my experience, and my friends too, just so much. Just seeing the whole theater pretty much understand everything going on, and just, like, enjoying every single second of it. Because another time, and this is also another thing I want to bring up too, because I feel like it's very important in terms of the FNAF community, when the Living Tombstone FNAF 1 song played in the end credits, the theater exploded. I think it was the biggest reaction out of every single one that happened. Actually, no. It was the second biggest. MatPat was the one where that was probably the biggest reaction the entire theater had. But my point is, the theater enhanced the experience so much. It felt like everybody was just, like, in unison with each other. Like, this just felt like you were getting on a gigantic Discord watch party and just watching it, except it's IRL. That is what it felt like. It felt like you were just with hundreds of your friends in the same location. You all knew the series very well, and you're all just having a great time. It was awesome. And going back to the Living Tombstone FNAF 1 thing, honestly, what I love the most about that being in the movie, right? And I think something that I don't think enough people have actually kind of realized yet, because most people are just thinking, oh my god, it's so cool it showed up in the movie. But I think the thing a lot of people haven't realized is, think about it this way. After all of these years, after that being the most iconic FNAF song of all time, most iconic fan-made FNAF song, when you think about it, it's technically official now. That is an official FNAF song now. It was in official FNAF media. It was in the FNAF movie. Technically making the most iconic FNAF song to ever exist actually be official. And the more that I think about it, the harder it is to wrap my head around it. Because it's just like, it's just amazing. Because I remember when I was younger and I first heard those songs and stuff, I thought that the FNAF 1 song was official. I did originally think that that was an official song that had something to do with the game, but no, it was fan-made by the Living Tombstone. And now that's not the case anymore. It's just so awesome, man. This entire movie, I'm pretty sure, was just solely made for the fans, and I see no problem in that, honestly. And I have noticed the situation with this movie being the fact that I think it's another Mario movie situation, I'm gonna be honest, where, like, the fans absolutely loved it, but, like, people that don't know anything about the series going into it are just kind of lost. Not necessarily lost, but like all of these super hype moments, like the spring lock, or like even the cameos of like Matt, Pat, and Corey, they just don't understand it, and it's not really anything too crazy. Or any of like the hype moments that hint at FNAF, like common FNAF knowledge. That's not that hype for people that don't know what they're like looking at either. So it's just like, I feel like it's one of those things where the FNAF movie I think is better watched after, let's say somebody wants to watch a FNAF movie, I would almost actually recommend that they would play through some of the games first and like learn a bit more about the story first. Not like the whole thing, but like learn like the basics of FNAF lore and then go into the movie, because I think that would be enough to like make these moments so much better. But yeah, my honest review. I'm gonna sound insane, okay? I know I'm gonna sound insane when I give this score, but I just really liked it, okay? I genuinely thought it was an amazing movie, and I would not mind seeing it again. I would give the movie a solid, I would say, 10 out of 10, at lowest 9.5 out of 10. Because while there were some flaws with it, that for me, they got overshadowed so quickly by all of the other amazing stuff going on. And after all these years we've waited for this movie, in my opinion, it was completely worth the wait. I genuinely just loved it. It was awesome to finally see this movie come out. And another thing that I think kind of really made me enjoy it a lot was the fact that I kept my expectations so low for this. Because I wasn't expecting it to be a masterpiece. I wasn't expecting this to be like, you know, peak or anything. I was just thinking to myself, it's gonna be another movie adaptation of a franchise. I'm gonna keep my expectations really, really low. And thanks to me doing that, I ended up really loving it. And I feel like it's kind of like what happened with Tears of the Kingdom. I saw there were a lot of people that were actually kind of disappointed. Meanwhile, I loved that game so much. And I think it's the same thing here, where the reason I love that game so much is because I kept the bar really low. Because I knew this is not going to be something as crazy as people are making it out to be. This is just going to be a sequel to a really cool Zelda game. It's probably just going to be more Breath of the Wild. It's not going to be anything like too insane, and well, I was right. And thanks to that, I actually managed to maintain my hype for it. And that's the exact same thing here happening with this movie. Keeping my expectations low really did affect my opinion on it after all of it, because with my expectations as low as they were, I was genuinely shocked to see how good this movie was compared to my original expectations of it. And honestly, what a movie, man. Just amazing. And the fact that they seem to kind of hint at there being another one, you can guarantee I'm watching that on the spot. Like when that comes out, and God knows how many years until they'll make a second one, but whenever they do, I'm definitely gonna be like there on the premiere date, or if there's another early screening, 100% gonna watch it there. Hey, maybe I'll even get the same group of friends I went to watch this one to go there, because I want to go to a theater, okay? Because after seeing this experience, like I mentioned before with the theater experience being so amazing, I want to experience that again. If a second FNAF movie ever comes out, and I guess this is more for the people that are watching because they've seen the movie already, because it's kind of too late to say, go experience the theater experience if you already have, or if, you know, you're literally getting spoiled on like all the big moments in this movie by me. It's kind of hard to say that now, but like, if for anybody watching this that has seen the FNAF movie, if they make a second FNAF movie and you did not watch this one in theaters, because I'm assuming if you did, you would know exactly what I'm talking about with the theater experience, but if you haven't, I 100% recommend that if there ever is a second FNAF movie, you watch it in theaters. Because I can almost guarantee the same exact stuff happening in the theater with this movie is gonna happen again with FNAF 2. 100%. And so, yeah, I'd say that's all I have to say right now. Honestly, I wish I could go more in depth on a lot of more details on this, but I've realized that I'm not really that good at doing that. I just kind of like to talk unscripted like this, discuss my raw thoughts, and just kind of leave it. And so, yeah, I said it's going to be it for this video. I really did love the movie, and whenever the second one comes out, I'm 100% making a review on it on this channel. I know it's going to be years, but I cannot wait for it. And, yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Ha ha ha. Actually, I lied. No, I take back everything I said about this movie. This movie is 0 out of 10. And here is my honest reason. No Freddy Frostbear equals bad movie. What were they thinking, bro? They didn't add my boy Freddy Frostbear from the hit FNAF game, FNAF AR. This instantly makes the movie L. Now I see why critics rated the movie so low. They forgot to mention in their reviews that there was no Freddy Frostbear. That was the main reason they didn't like it, and now I agree with them. Oh